Some might say that there's no greater track in the U.S. with as much history as Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's been run and open for over 100 years, and now the Cup Series will make another start here yet again. But we're here tonight for the Fuel Cup Series, for the start of their Fuel Finals, and it's going to be a very interesting race here tonight. And I have Connor Horn in the booth with me tonight. And Connor, I think we're in for a very interesting race, especially with this newer package.
It's definitely going to be an interesting one, and that might even be an understatement. It's a completely different track now. Track position it always really mattered here at Indy, but it never mattered more than it does with the new package. If you are not a good qualifier, just write yourself off the list of people who are contending for the win. If you are not in the top 5 to start the race, you're going to have a hard time passing one lane. A track that's only rivaled in the aero push by Pocono, maybe. I can't tell which one's worse from experience, but it's definitely going to be difficult to pass. And the only people, the only people who are going to potentially compete for the win, like I said, people who are going to qualify best. It doesn't matter if you're really going to be a good driver, but because of all this aero push, I can't stress how enough the aero push is. It's just going to be terrible.
Yeah, and it's really going to be, I think, the thing a lot of these drivers complain about tonight is you're looking down at qualifying, just seeing a few drivers come across the line. But before we do that, let's take a look at the layout that we're running in Indianapolis. Taking a look at a track map. Indianapolis, 2.5 miles, relatively low in banking. Not a whole lot of it through these turns, 4 different corners, and both on each end separated by a little bit of a small straightaway. But we were talking, it's not a lot of whole lot of banking that these guys can use. It's going to be relatively one lane around the bottom, so drivers going to have to be really creative about getting some passing done, potentially really on the start.
Yeah, I told you earlier before we started, these restarts are going to be absolutely insane. Maybe not the initial start of the race. They might play it cool the initial start, but it's definitely going to be a struggle late in the race trying to get track possession gained. We might see 3 wide. No, let me rephrase that. We're definitely going to see 3 wide, and we might potentially see 4 wide. There's going to be a lot of desperation attempts, especially for the people who don't have the bonus points buffer like Anthony Debaro and Jeff Ward do, who are 54 and 47 above the main cut line. And speaking of Debaro, he's gone to the top with a 9.37. Nick Kohan second, Jeff Ward third. So the guys you expect to be at the front of the pack are already up there, and we know how difficult they are to pass, and it's already difficult to pass, so we'll see what everyone else can do about them. But these restarts are just going to be absolutely insane near the end of a race.
Yeah, looking at Thomas Bressi coming through for his laps. Currently 11th on the charts, and just kind of looking through. I think most of our big names have put out a time. Looking at Zach Buchanan now on the back straightaway. As he's coming on through. Alec Martinez also on track, coming through his turns 1 and 2. One of the big drivers to make it in. As you can see on the ticker to your left, the drivers in orange are the drivers in your Fuel Final. All 12 of them. However, it's not going to remain 12 for much longer. After tonight, the bottom 2 in the standings will be eliminated from the Fuel Finals immediately. So you cannot be wasting around. You need to have a good finish if you're in this race. You can't afford to have a bad night.
You have to be perfect in every aspect if you're in a chase. You have to have the perfect pit strategy. You have to have the perfect qualifying run. Can't stress that enough, obviously, as comes Alec seeing Alec complete his lap here. He's going to put down a 0.79. That's going to slot him in 11th for the moment. But yeah, you're going to have to be perfect on every end of a track. You can't make a simple mistake. A simple mistake like even brushing the wall at this track is going to cost you maybe 2-3 spots depending on when you do it. It'll damage your car. It'll damage your race. Potentially damage your chase.
Indeed, he can. We're looking at Zach Buchanan. Unfortunately, not going to be able to complete his lap as he's coming out of 3 and into 4. Not going to have enough time to make it back around. But with qualifying over, we're going to get ready for the gridding process here at Indianapolis, getting ready to line up the grid. And we were talking about, the track position being very important tonight, not just from qualifying, but especially on the restarts. We imagine that these guys are going to be 3 wide through some of these corners on the opening lap, because that's going to be your best time to make some passes.
I'll say this right now. I would be 100% shocked to see a pass for the lead under green flag conditions. And by the chance it does go green for a long run, if we get green flag pit stops in, being the first one on pit road is going to be so important. You cannot afford to get undercut. If you're Anthony Debaro, you're leading, say Nick Kohan second, he undercuts you a lap or 2, you're going to lose a lot of time, and it's going to be very hard to pass because of all the aero push. So track position key, and the right strategy is going to be key if we get a long run here. But I have a feeling we might not get that many, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you're seeing the grid on the bottom of your screen there. Anthony Debaro will be starting on pole in the 27, been one of the more dominant cars this season, as well as Nick Kohan in the 21, who will be starting outside of him.
Then we got Jeff Ward, P3. He's going to be I'm going to be looking at him to give a chance, to give a run at the Debaro for the win. I don't know how the outside lane is going to work on the initial start here. Colin Fambrough fourth. Brian Chambliss a good start, P5, and Derek Castor, P6. All of these guys, the top 10 separated by, I believe, just over a tenth of a second, and even back into the top 15, very end of the top 15. It's very tight for one lap speed.
Yeah, looking through the rest of it, Greg Evans will be starting the 46 in 9th. Outside of him, the 32 is Shane Ewing. He's starting in 10th. It hasn't really been the best of seasons for the 32. Started off strong, kind of fell off towards the middle part. Alec Martinez will be starting in 11th on the inside. Outside him, the 20th, Timothy Johnston. We'll let the rest of that scroll across the bottom. But yeah, we were talking about, you mentioned the strategy. And I've definitely noticed after covering a lot of these newer races with this package, the tire strategy and how you play that is so important and so vital to the way the race outcomes, especially when you have a series that goes green quite a lot like the Fuel Cup Series has in recent weeks. The tire strategy is absolutely key, and playing that out right is really going to matter if you're going to have a good night or a bad night.
I'll tell you what, they should, yeah, it's just going to be, a big battle of attrition. I think you're going to see a lot of huge blocking. I mean, you cannot give up the inside line, especially with the new package. The inside line was already a premium, but you cannot make anything work on the outside line. I said you won't see many passes for the lead. I'd give you $10 if we see a pass on the outside for like a top 5 spot. It's going to be, like I said, you got to be perfect. If you're not perfect, you're out.
Yeah, indeed, and especially too considering we got over 30 drivers here on the grid tonight, still continuing up the great field sizes for this series, even though the chase has started. Usually see that drop off, not for the Fuel Cup Series. They've been continuing it on very strong, and again, that's only going to mean more if you're one of those playoff drivers that has a bad night. You're going to be mired all the way down and not get a whole lot of points. So it's going to be key to making sure you make it to the end. You don't want to have to necessarily win the race, but you definitely need to finish relatively strong.
Speaking of bad races, a couple people already not having good starts of a night. I said I think Casey Lakatos can make it into the next race. I believe he got the opportunity to be able to do so, but he's sitting in P20 to start the race, and the next guy out would be Hayden Pastorius, only starting P17, so those guys got to go right away. Like I said, it's going to be hard to pass. They got to go immediately, and we're coming to green right here. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do indeed. Pace car is going to be in 80 laps at Indianapolis, and we are green here at the Yard of Bricks.
Anthony Debaro got a good jump there. Nick Cohen's luckily going to benefit from that. He's going to be able to clear for P2, and Nick Cohen's going to be P2. Jeff Ward's going to be able to slot P3. Fambrough gets to the bottom, P4, and then side by side for 5th. Looks like Chambliss is going to edge out for P5, and Derek Castor 6th. And they're already trying to single file out, get to the bottom.
Yep, but this is what we see and kind of what we expected a little bit going into tonight's race. Single file for the leaders, Nick Kohan all the way up and behind the 27 of Anthony Debaro. But behind them, though, a lot more chaotic. Some guys making some moves. Thomas Bressi in the background with McQuistion and Norm Pelletier on the inside.
And see, the guy on the inside actually had to let off a lot there. And it looks like Pelletier might even lose the spot to Paulson as well, as we can already see a lot of single file all the way back to about P7 with Mitchell Welker, Alec Martinez, and now he's getting help from, I believe that's 46 of Greg Evans. Especially, you're on the inside, the draft is not undervalued. It's not as big of a suck-up, but if you're trying to make a move on the inside and there's no one on the inside with you, you're going to get freight trained a little bit before you get the turns.
Yeah, looking on board with the 48 of Derek Castor, getting some push off behind Brian Chambliss off in front of him in the 45. You can kind of hear the tires, and you'll hear it again down into turn 3. These guys just struggling for a grip.
These guys, they're looking for everything possible. They're looking for every bit of clean air possible. They're trying, if like someone misses the bottom in the turn 3, you have to take advantage of it, get a good run on them out of a corner, maybe make a move, but obviously Castor's not going to be able to make that work, and he's going to have Riley Thompson all over him. And meanwhile, the top 2 have separated themselves. Debaro and Kohan on their own really well. Jet forward leads to pack behind.
Oh, in behind them, Mitchell Walker and Greg Evans make some contact.
Oh,
Mitchell
what a
Walker
save.
drifting through the corner will save it. And I was just about to say I had my eye on the 76, was the fastest guy in practice. However, this is going to set him back a little bit. Fortunately for him, I don't see any damage to that car. But man, that could have been horrific there. Let's take a look at that.
It looks like he expected the 46 to turn down earlier, and that's just not what happened. Good save, though. That could have been catastrophic.
Here's another look at it. The 46 to the inside just clips the 76 when sliding off. And it's really hard to try to collect it in that outside lane. Not an easy feat, but Mitchell Walker getting it done. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long road ahead of him as he gets mired back in 18th. And again, we talked about how hard passing is. He's already up and around 11th. Going to have to make up those 7 positions. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, especially impressive save when there's absolutely no grip up there. There's not going to be much to at all of this race, so especially at the beginning of a race, nothing up there. So good save by him. Got a good battle for 6th Brewing. Chambliss under attack from Riley Thompson. Meanwhile, side by side behind him, Martinez is still trying to make the inside work. A little bit of a block by the 28 there. Timothy Johnston not giving the inside. Not giving Alec anything to work with. Alec shoves him into 3, maybe trying to put him in the wall.
A lot of these guys competing with each other, all 3 of those drivers competing for playoff spots. I think for them, they're more or less good the way they're running right now.
Yeah, but you can never run too hard, you know.
Yeah.
You always run yourself too hard. It always happens. Meanwhile, you know anything can happen. You can't ever let off. You can't ever go conservative in a race. That's just not something that really works. Being conservative is definitely not happening. The 32 trying to make a move on the outside work. Shane Ewing couldn't make it work there. Slid up. Look how high he's running. Very, very questionable. He's trying to make that work. No one else will, but he's getting freight trained at the moment. Thomas Bressi is next in line to make it work.
Yeah, and again, that outside lane not really viable as the caution's out for the first time. Not sure who it is. I think it's Don Runkle off of 2, and I think he's got it in the wall. Take a look. Happened to the 00 here. Oh, there's another.
Oh, it was ahead of him, the 88.
Yeah.
Tyler Dolger spun somehow.
Dolger spun out. Let's see what happened to Dolger. Is that?
It was out of 1. It was out of turn 1. A bit of a checkup. Rick Thompson got it. Oh, Rick Thompson had a huge hit that we missed. The 88 came back onto the track.
Oh, yeah. Wow. The 76 went flying into the wall. He got stuck there. Dolger was trying to save it coming back on the track. Almost collected it off into the bottom. But Runkle panicked and got into the wall.
Yeah, just innocent bystander Don Runkle was there. I don't mean to be rude, but the 88 there kind of pulling a Bubba Wallace there. And as a Kyle Larson fan, I don't appreciate that. So, it is what it is, though. It's a big check up there. Not really much Tyler could have done, to be honest. And unfortunate circumstances for the 00 and the 66 at top.
Here's the look off of Rick Thompson's nose. Just went up, caught the 88 on exit, and went flying to the barrier and got wedged in there. That's going to be retirement for him.
I think retirement's an understatement. He might have to retire from racing with the injuries he'd get from that.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a good one, but caution out here at Indianapolis early on.
I know these drivers would, in a way, prefer green flag runs, but you can't pass up new tires at a track like this. When you're on old tires at Indy, you just feel like you're ailing. You need the new tires as soon as possible. And pretty much everyone's going to get their chance to get new tires here. Debaro leads them into pit.
Indeed, watching everyone come down in the pit road, like you said, definitely cannot shy away from new tires. And again, it's even more important with the amount of downforce these guys have. They're running a lot faster through these corners. Going to wear out the tires a lot more, so you're going to be more prone to come down into pit road. But when do you argue is the time that you may want to stay out for that track position? Because obviously we've seen really hard to pass.
In my opinion, it's never going to happen. Ooh, in case Lakatos might have missed a stall there. He's out P1 easily, but I really don't think I don't think there's ever going to be a time where you take 2 tires. I think like 4 tires, it's just that much more important. The only way you take 2 tires is if, like after like a 2-lap run, everyone pits. You might consider staying out, but if you do pit, you take 2, but it's a very slim chance you'd stay out front because they can draft right up to you. If they get to the bottom of you, you'd be cooked. I really don't think there's going to be any other play other than 4 tires this race.
Yeah, no, I think definitely if you're going to take tires, you might as well take all 4 instead of just the right sides. Debaro going to lead them off at pit road, more or less the same order. Actually, it looks like Shane Ewing's gained quite a few spots, and definitely did something. There's no way he got 4 tires on in 10 seconds. So I think the 32 playing a 2-tire call, and I guess this might have been just for the track position. I think figured since he only did five laps on the lefts, might as well just take rights.
To be in case of Lakatos, he drove through the pit stalls. That, you know, might have been to get a 2 bonus points for that lap led, but Evan Adams, I think, also stayed out, and that's, I bet Lakatos not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, actually,
I don't think Evan Adams is in the chase.
Adams didn't even actually get the point. He didn't lead that lap. I think someone who came through the pits did.
Debaro did. Yeah, Debaro still did. Lakatos didn't get it. Evan Adams didn't get it. Just a terrible situation in general.
And Adams staying out yet again. Interesting.
Lakatos is coming in, though. He's not taking a chance to do anything with old tires.
You definitely want the tires, otherwise you're going to be... especially you don't want old tires up in the front of the field. That's a recipe for disaster. So
yeah, but, you know... The lights on the pace car are off, and Evan Adams has not pulled off for his pit stop, so we'll see what he does. But this could get dicey early here at Indy.
It definitely can. Just kind of trying to keep an eye on where a lot of our playoff drivers are running. Not entirely sure who's the lowest out of
I'd assume it's Lakatos after he just pit.
Yeah, definitely Lakatos because he pit.
Lakatos. They're out, obviously.
Oh, and I think maybe Pastorius might be the second lowest at running in 18th.
So that would be the 2 same people from the very start of the race. So no progress from those 2, and they need to get going soon enough.
Yeah, more or less, a lot of these guys in the back. In fact, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way tie for last place in the point. So it's going to be a lot of those last 2 positions. I think are going to be almost purely off of who you're going to finish in front of. But I should mention, though, that there are halfway points available. But I think definitely guys are going to be eyeing the bigger prize at the end of the race.
I think 2 guys who got to be really happy with where they are right now is, let's see, Brian Chambliss and, who was it? 32 Shane Ewing. They're up front already. They're hanging up there. You know how hard it is to pass. They're probably thinking this is 100%. It's as good as it's going to get. They're probably content with just riding this one out. They'd be in no problem if it stayed like this. But obviously, we have green flag laps to get to, and we're going green out of 4. Doesn't look like Evan Adams is going to pit, and we're going to go green here.
Indeed, we are. Adam Adams is going to lead the field back down to green here, coming to lap number 9. When is he going to go? He's going to wait quite a bit. Now he's on the gas. Green flag back out at Indianapolis.
Yeah, not a good restart for him. He might have spun the tires a little bit. Debaro was able to stay side by side with him. Meanwhile, 32 didn't get a good restart. Jeff Ward's going to stay pushing him. And even with only 8-lap-old tires, no contest. Debaro, Kohan, they're all freight training him. The inside's going to get a big stack up. Fambrough trying to go 3 wide middle. Obviously not the right decision by Adams. I guess you got to try something, but
definitely got to try something.
Definitely not working.
Was not the strategy to go. And actually, I won my $10 because there was a pass for the lead on the outside, and actually a pass up ahead.
That's a restart. That doesn't count. Hey, no. That doesn't count. Oh, another pass for the lead, though. More important than that, when Nick Kohan just gets by Debaro for the race lead. Looks like Debaro might have let him by, but nonetheless, put the 21 car P1.
Honestly, I thought, you'd think these 2 being teammates, they would play a lot nice with each other. From what I've seen in weeks past, it doesn't really seem that way, at least in the later parts of the race. I think early on, I guess they're going to be a little bit nicer. Later, when push comes to shove, I don't think they're going to be as nice. But back in behind, looks like Ewing, that 2-time was somewhat paying off, at least building up a large train of guys in behind him. He's got Ward, Riley Thompson, Alec Martinez, and Brian Chambliss in the wall. In turn 1, no caution here, main green.
And that is going to be terrible for him. He did not need any sort of damage whatsoever. He needs to hope for a quick yellow so he can get this damage repaired because he's got damage on all sides. He's got right front, a little bit left rear. This is worst case scenario for Chambliss.
Yeah, riding on board with him might have had some contact that sent him up into there. Take a look from another angle real quick.
Let's see. He's getting shoved by Bressi into the turn 24. Oh, no, he just got a little out of shape.
No, he did had some contact with the 24, and that sent him a little bit up in the wall, but he did start getting loose beforehand.
What happened, looks like Bressi really sent it in. He actually got into the back of the 93 Travis McQuistion, and he kind of net-coded, but I think there would have been contact anyway, and that put Chambliss into the wall. Decent save, but he might have rather just spun it out.
He's running in 31st right now. There's only been 2 drivers that retired out of our 33 starters. Runkle and Thompson have called it a day. Chambliss running in the last spot at the moment, 12.6 seconds back. So it's going to be a long, long night for Chambliss to try to redeem himself. But it's not looking good early on. It is looking good, though, however, for Kohan, Debaro, and Jeff Ward and Alex Martinez are working around Shane Ewing. Ewing's dropped all the way back to 8, so definitely that 4-tire stop looking to be prime because he's just getting bullied by everyone else on fresher tires on the inside.
He did not need anyone to pass him. The top 2, 3 or so that already did pass him on that restart got by. He had somewhat clean air, but the 93 is by him, the 46 is by him, and they're just going to keep freight training him. Just not enough grip on only 2 tires. And with that Chambliss incident, someone who's really happy about that, Pastorius, he would have been out as things were going, but now he's the last one in, I believe, at the moment. So right now, Lakatos and Chambliss out, and it's definitely not looking good for Chambliss.
Chambliss, that's, yeah, like you said, it's going to be really hard for him. He's going to have to hope for other people to struggle. So far, 10 laps in, everyone's running okay, but again, that can change in a heartbeat, as we see. And looking at Mitchell Welker, he's made a decent recovery up into 13th after his little incident earlier. I still want to keep an eye on the 76. What was I say that he clips the wall out of 4?
He might have hit the wall, I'm not sure.
I saw some sparks, might have just been some netcode, but definitely has some pace in here, just stuck in traffic.
Yeah, speaking of stuck in traffic, someone who I know absolutely hates the dirty air is Alex Martinez, but he's making it work so far. From starting P11, I believe it says he's up to P3, so he's going on a tear here. Hopefully it doesn't put too much stress on the tires, but put Alex to P3. Meanwhile, Nick Kohan and Anthony Debaro, they've checked out. Martinez is about over 2 seconds behind Kohan.
Yeah, you saw Riley Thompson get a little bit of the wall out of turn 2, and here comes Colin Fambrough trying to make an attack on the 58, couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the problem is when you try to make a pass like that, you lose a lot of momentum, just enough momentum for the guy behind you to potentially make a run on you, that guy being Greg Evans, who's trying to build up a run out of 4 here. But Fambrough's the one with the run.
Big run to the inside, going to be side-by-side with the 58. I think should be able to get on by. I don't know if 58 of Thompson is going to contest
He's going to let him go here. 58's got to let him go. He's got to get back to the bottom. He cannot give it up at all costs.
And we'll see if he fares a little bit better with Greg Evans in behind him. Evans currently running in the 7th. Much better season for him this time.
Oh, wreck in the back. That's a big wreck. Who's in that? Liam Sheen's in it. Calvin Filarski. Derek Castor in it. 3-car wreck. That was right on the short chute coming into turn 3, and big damage to all 3 of those cars.
Looking at Liam Sheen here. Oh, I think it was the 2 of Calvin Filarski that got into the wall hard, went into the wall, and also collected, I believe that's the 48 of Derek Castor, and Castor was also running really well earlier on in the race.
I believe, looks like Lakatos might have gotten some damage from it.
Here's the look off of the 34 Liam Sheen, 53 Liam Sheen. He's got clipped by Filarski.
You gotta get it on board of Lakatos. That was a very quick move to avoid that.
He was right in behind us, so he got a fantastic look on board with the 50. We got into Liam Sheen a little bit. That didn't cause anything. We see Filarski get into the wall, clip the 34, and he made an evasive move to the inside. How about that?
Rare times you'll use that access road without exiting the road. And you made good use of it there. Just turned it left and prayed, basically.
Here's a view from the outside of the 50s. Drastic dive off the corner. You could argue he might have been able to make it a bye without having to do that drastic room, but you can never be too safe.
You have to be safe. He needs every position he can get. That doesn't seem like that impressive, but depending on how this race goes, it could pay off in the long run when you have a clean car and everyone else is wrecking around you.
But a driver who's happy to see that is Brian Chambliss, because now he gets a chance to at least mend his car, try to fix it, get it back in racing order, and also catch up to the field. But it's definitely going to have to fix that car, because with the aerodynamic grip that you need for this track, you're going to need every bit and piece as close to its original position as possible.
You better hope for the 2017 Brickyard to happen all over again. Just big junk at the end of a race. Another person who wanted that yellow quicker than most would be Shane Ewing. He was dropping. He was all the way back to 11th, so he's definitely happy to see that.
Yeah, and I don't think lost overall. I think he was running it around that spot, so I'll be able to get back on strategy. But I think for a lot of guys who were paying attention to the 32, I think they saw that and realized, yeah, if it's going to be 4 tires all night long, ooh, looks like the 58 misses pit stall.
We had some trouble on pit road. Brendan Key's front bumper's all messed up. It seemed like had a bit of a stack up entering pit road with the 99 of Vic Bloom. Just ran into him. Buchanan got into it as well.
We'll take a look at that as you look at the race off of pit road. It's going to be the 27 of Debaro who wins it. Kohan, Martinez, and
they're 3 wide. Maybe better to go 3 wide under yellow than under green. We'll see.
Yeah, so no major changes on pit road from what I can see. Let's take a look and see the times match that. Yep, every single driver taking at least 4 tires.
I think everyone saw what happened to Greg Evans. They're not touching anything over than 4 tires now.
And we'll take a look, and you said it was Brandon Key that had some trouble down on entry to pit road. Trying to find him here.
It just seemed like the 99 didn't throttle up.
Yeah, he's getting his pit road. Oh yeah, just a little bit of a bump, and who got hit from behind.
That was Zach Buchanan in the 40, who also unfortunately got damage in that. Lakatos was behind that. He avoids another one.
Yeah, he's been around a lot, and since I'm sure he's going to be hoping to get in some, I guess, cleaner air as far as not getting anywhere near some wrecks, because if you're not careful enough, you can easily get yourself collected in it.
Case Lakatos is hoping for not that many wrecks in front of him. Brian Chambliss is hoping the whole field is out of it by the time he gets back up there. He's just hoping for everything to happen. All these chase drivers, he needs it now. He's really the only chase driver with bad damage now, so he's got to get some luck on his side these next couple of.
It's been fairly quiet so far this race. Not a whole lot of action besides on the restarts, which is again I think in line with both of our predictions with how this race is going to play out.
Yeah, the only one who's been able to really make passes, from what I can see, Alec, 11th to 3rd, Travis Aquiston, who was kind of involved in that skirmish with Chambliss. He's up from P14 to P6. A couple others just falling back. Mitchell Welker, 7th to 12th. But overall, everyone's staying put, really. Top 2 have obviously stayed the same the whole race, other than the 59 staying out. And pretty orderly, other than the restarts. And the restarts are only going to get crazier from here.
Yeah, indeed they are. Just kind of checking all through the field, seeing if we do have any big movers. I definitely know Martinez from 11th to 3rd. That's a big move forward for him. Joining a quartet of Toyotas up in the front.
Yeah, Toyotas, you don't see him much on the iRacing service. Alex stays true to his Camry, and I assume it's Supra because it's a better package in his opinion. But, you know, it is what it is.
Right, let's take a quick look at the manufacturer spread. Not a whole lot of Chevys inside the top 15. Only 4 of them, and they're 3 Fords, and then a lot of Toyotas, which is what you don't see in a whole lot of other series, but this series definitely loves its Toyotas.
The exact opposite of what you'd expect.
Yep. I'm not arguing with it. I enjoy it.
I mean, I will a little bit. I'll play devil's advocate. Get them Toyotas out of here. Come on. Surprised not more people run the Ford. I don't run the Ford myself, but it's really a unique car to me.
It is a really unique car, and I gotta say, when they first revealed it, didn't like it as much, but I think also to the iRacing version, I don't know what it is, but it looks better than how it does in real life.
Looks better than the Fusion. The Fusion's grilled.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, the Fusion's just mirrored. They changed the Fusion's grill after a while. It started off like looking legit, and then it just got like taped on.
Yeah, they originally had like an actual like 3D grill piece that was silver, and then I guess it didn't work out aerodynamically with the car, and then they just made it completely flat on the front end and gave it kind of like a decal.
Seems like it worked out for the better.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely an argument performance. Doesn't look as nice, but I guess looks don't really matter to Ford.
speaking of performance, early picks for the win. In my opinion, there's really only two people you can pick.
It's been like that all season long. These two in some sort of order in the front. Has been without some sort of controversy here and there between these two drivers, but they're at the front yet again. They got Alec Martinez and Kohan Fambrough. He's been really surprising. Just made it in by the skin of his teeth last week, kicking out Casey Chu, who would have made it in, but Fambrough got himself into the finals just before the field finals start. And here he's running in fourth, so he could be a surprise pick by the end of this, and currently still running well.
Yeah, the real sleeper pick would be Fambrough, I must say, but the way Alec's been able to get through the field, like pretty much no one else has been able to, it's got to open your eyes a little bit. We'll see what he does on this restart, but definitely the top two are going to be hard to beat, but I think Alec can give him a run for the...
Yep, and we will see as pace car is going to pull off yet again, getting ready for the restart. Everyone getting stacked up. Debaro going to get a good jump on the outside lane. Interesting choice for the line. Green flag back out here at Indianapolis.
And it doesn't seem like much crazy business is happening yet. People really fighting for the inside line, but that's what you expect. No really dangerous moves. Alec Martinez is going to try to hold serve in P3, but he didn't get that good of a run. He's not going to be clear right away of Fambrough, but Fambrough, he just can't hold it up there that easily, especially out of two. Martinez is clear. Kohan to run for the lead. Debaro probably won't fight him as hard, but saying that, Martinez has to run to the inside. He might have to stay up there. He might not have a choice.
Here comes Kohan back on the inside of Debaro. He's going to try to cut down in front of the 93 of McQuistion. And Kohan's going to hold the lead, but here comes Debaro back on him. The teammates fighting with each other for the lead here.
This might hurt him a little bit. Martinez is going to have a run. Kohan slides it up there. It looks like Martinez is actually going to give Kohan a shove. Kind of shocked by that. He's going to be on the outside entering one, but he's going to be so close to clearing Debaro, but not quite enough. He gives Kohan a big shove in there.
See that inside lane versus the outside lane, but now Martinez is actually able to get a decent
able to carry it. All right, now you can get your 10 bucks. Okay, now you can get it. See, that one's legit. That's just Alec Martinez at his best.
And he is not done yet. A lot of talent in this kid's going to have a run on the 21.
He's got the run. I don't think he's going to take it here. Oh, there he goes. Just like that, as I say it. He's going to dive it down in there, but Kohan should be able to hold a little bit. Meanwhile, Debaro trails them. Travis McQuiston, I said he was moving up as good as Martinez. He's moved up a lot on this restart, up to P4 all of a sudden. Meanwhile, Jeff Ward's P5, Fambrough back to 6th, Greg Evans 7th, Johnston 8th. Then the first side-by-side battle, over then for the lead, Shane Ewing and Thomas Bressi.
And Martinez still not done yet, still side-by-side for the lead. Don't want to pull off of this fight. This is going to be really close here if Martinez can wrestle it away from the 21, but Kohan able to run that outside lane.
It all depends on what Debaro does here, and you know he's going to go with his teammate here. And meanwhile, the caution comes out, and we'll see if Alec got the lead there. And not sure where this wreck happened.
Yeah, I have no clue where this happened. To be quite honest.
Let's try to find it.
I don't see anything that particularly happened. Oh, Jackson Robart. This is the cause of it. Got loose out of turn 1. And sliding across the inside when flipping to the ground. Actually saved it there. Didn't hit anything.
Didn't feel like he needed to continue though. He just parked it.
I think might have been a little bit frustrated with the way this car is driving. I guess decided to call it a day. But here's a look on board was running in right behind Casey Lakatos. There's a lot of things have been happening around the 50 car.
Casey's gonna need like 5 pairs of pants if this race is gonna continue how it's going. But yeah, you gotta continue, Jackson. I mean, that was a good save.
It actually looks like I think Roblar might have had some help.
Yeah.
Looking from the
back
rear.
end's pretty clean.
Oh yeah. 40 Buchanan got into it.
There it is. Buchanan, once again, I think it's the second one he's involved in. Yeah, he gave him a big old shove into the left rear, and you're not going to have a good time if you get hit in the rear like that.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit awkward, because I could have sworn I saw them in the same Discord channel earlier, so...
get an in-race report from the 10, or not the,
I actually
the 10
don't.
driver. We'll see.
I think he actually left. I don't entirely blame him
Well,
for
if you
it.
haven't already, I mean,
Well, pit stops. Oh, ooh. Nope. Okay. I thought Kohan was gonna stay out. Decided last second. Nope. He wanted to join everyone else.
he was definitely going to be on no man's land there. Everyone's going to come in here. Like I said, after what the 32 and the 59 had to deal with, no way you see many gutsy calls like.
So decent amount of yellows here in the early running here at Indianapolis. 3 cautions in 23 laps.
Running out of time to get that long run speed going. I love how at this track you don't have to be in your pit stall to pit. Alec Martinez hanging it out.
Yeah, and that's definitely violating something. And NASCAR wouldn't be.
It's not violating fuel rules, that's for sure.
Oh, and there's a slide through his pit stall. And how about this? Greg Evans gonna win the race off pit road. Definitely took 2 tires there.
It was about a 3 or 4 lap run. I think when the 32 took 2 tires, it was about a 7 lap run. So we'll see what happens. But big loser there, definitely Alec Martinez did not get a good exit there. I think he's back to, compared to the people on 4 tires, he's going to be P4. But luckily he's lined up on the inside P5. So I'm sure he'll take that as he destroys those cones. He's asserting dominance on the cones down there.
Yeah, no respect for the cones. Vic Bloom has stayed out, I imagine, just to lead a lap. Not running in the field finals, but just collecting some points. Imagine he's probably going to come down to the pits. I'll be amazed if he doesn't, because Evan Adams
in the points. I guess it's P13 in the points, maybe. Who knows? But aside from the people who were at the bottom, it's pretty much stayed the same other than Chambliss going down the order. Lakatos and Pastorius have not been able to make that much time up. Their only saving grace was the problems that Chambliss had, and this race isn't nearly over yet, so they have to get going soon. We're already a quarter of the way through, a little bit more, but they have not made up the time they envisioned that they had to.
Yeah, indeed. Looking at Brian Chambliss, and he's, I guess he's enjoying the fact that we had a lot of cautions. The only problem is none of them have been any playoff drivers. They've all been non-playoff drivers that have brought out the caution, and he's just kind of sitting here hoping that one of the actual guys that matter, at least for the championship, right? Because, again, still in the last spot, and indeed you can see there in the shot as well, Casey Lakatos, both of them in the last 2 spots, and in danger of being eliminated.
Yeah, I see all those chase drivers up there, all those other cars in general, but I don't see any way he's going to be able to compete unless more cars get damaged. That car's pretty much destroyed. So at this point, he's probably just waiting for some of them to wreck. He's really not in a good spot here.
And you can see there on the ticker, the top 14, almost all it consisted of playoff drivers. The top 10, highest 10 drivers are in the top 14. And then you have Lakatos and Chambliss 19th and 20th.
Yeah, that 2-tire stop really killed Shane Ewing. He's all the way back to 14th. He went all the way back to 11th on 2 tires. He's only gone backwards even farther. So it was early in the race to, I guess, experiment with 2 tires, but it might have put him in a bad spot for the rest of the race. It might do the same here for that 93 car. I don't know, 93 car was up there, but Vic Bloom, it might have the same effect here when we get going green.
I was going to say, Vic Bloom didn't come back down to the pits, so interesting call there.
Also, Greg Evans it says he's ahead of Debaro, and he is, so I guess he took 2 tires as well, so the restart this might be a real interesting one, depending on where Debaro and Kohan go. Are they going to force it 3 wide? Are they just going to wait till 2 to make their move? Who knows what's going to happen here?
Yeah, who knows indeed. And Vic Bloom,
they might both pit here as well, though. It is coming, I believe, the 1 to green, and they're both staying out, so we're going to have some 2 tires on the front.
Yeah, we're going to see another kind of mixed strategy here. No tires, 2 tires, and everyone else on 4. I think Evans is on a little bit of a better call here. He'll have at least something to work around Vic Bloom. But, yeah, everyone else definitely seeing the 4 tires is the way to go. 2, maybe.
I expect a bit of a stack up, even in the turn 1, especially in 2, but there's going to be a big stack up. Kohan and Debaro are going to have nowhere to go here, and it's all up to everyone behind them to be ready for that stack up. This could get dicey. This might be what Chambliss needs.
Yeah, I was gonna say this could be what it needs. Although they did do a really good job getting around Shane Ewing and Evan Adams when a similar scenario played out. So could be fine, could not be fine. You never really know with these things. I do know that some of these guys in the front here have histories with each other, so if push comes to shove, it should be very interesting up in the front.
Shockingly enough, I don't have history of anyone in the league, and that's a first. So, lucky for that. I'm not involved in any of that, but the difference was Evan Adams pretty much stayed on the bottom on the restart, let everyone go. Shane Ewing was able to have enough speed to stay up there and race these guys. Both these guys are going to be on 2 tires, really tight, I imagine.
It really does depend if Vic Bloom decides to fight this, because we saw Evan Adams, he kind of gave up early on, realized that he was just kind of a hazard and tried to stay out of people's way. Vic Bloom does do the same, so you're right.
It's pretty early in the race to risk like this, but like I said, some people are experimenting, seeing what 2 tires will do on a certain amount of laps. I've done it before and testing before races. It's much easier to do it before races than during the races and get yourself wrecked, but we'll see what they try to pull here. If I had to guess, one driver is going to go backwards and the other's just going to go in the...
Well, we'll see how this is going to play out here. Vic Bloom leading the field back down to the restart. Just after, just over a quarter of the way through here in Indianapolis, green flag back in the air. And a good jump for the 99.
Not so much for the 46. He's already going to be in a lane of his own on the outside. No one's going to want to go up there and get behind him. He's already going to drop back to 3rd, probably 4th. And Vic Bloom has nothing to fight Anthony Debaro. Already at the bottom, Debaro goes. Help from Nick Kohan. The guys on the outside on 2 tires. They are in no man's land, and we're not even out of turn number 2.
Indeed, we're not out of turn. We're barely out of turn 2 now. To see some guys building runs. Here comes Kohan getting a shove from the 54 Martinez.
Oh, there's a block. Block from Debaro. Kohan gave him a shot. Probably didn't appreciate that. Also, probably didn't expect it. Martinez is going to follow them. He's going to get back to 3rd. The 93's next in line. Vic Bloom. Yep, the 93 goes by Vic Bloom. Greg Evans still trying to fight a little bit with Pastorius, who's on the bottom all of a sudden. He's gained a lot of spots. Vic Bloom's going to go side by side. 2 tires side by side. They're going to hold up these guys a little bit here.
Indeed they are. And definitely, I think we're seeing, regardless of what happens, as Greg Evans moves up to the inside, not really the best call. Evans, now that he's on the inside, might be able to hang out there, but definitely don't want to bump into tires.
Yeah, look at Vic Bloom. He's definitely in a worse spot. Pastorius, no problem getting around him. Next in line, Norm Pelletier. We're going to see 3 wide. There it is. Timothy Johnston, 3 wide. Help from Thomas Bressi.
Yeah, this is
2 chase drivers going a great.
This is where it gets dangerous. Ewing, smart decision, backs out of that scenario. That could have been very bad for him.
He almost went 3 wide into turn 4 there. 99 is already just about outside the top 15. This is definitely not a call he's going to make again.
Absolutely not. Up in the front, though, Debaro and Debaro and Kohan getting close to each other. There's still no fight there. Going on back to this mess of cars. Vic Bloom still trying to hang on. He's got now Riley Thompson to his inside. Here comes Casey Lakatos. Ewing is getting held up on the top lane. Mitchell Welker is going to make his way on through. Chambliss
going to bad to worse for Shane Ewing, and there's Chambliss. I guess that'll help him a little bit. He sees Lakatos right up there, so who knows? But
looking on board with Chambliss, really struggling a bit on some straightaway speed. Just trying to make it past that 99, and Ewing playing the nice guy. You're going to lose a lot of spots.
Yeah, it's just bad to worse for Ewing. Nothing's going his way after that pit call. He's even struggling to get by Bloom here, and he still might not get by him because Bloom's going to have the draft, and Ewing's left. Up
the road, 28 Timothy Johnston making the move on Norm Pelletier. Has been having a really good run in that 56 car.
Yeah, I'm just watching a battle, I believe, for 15th. Lakatos and Welker. Lakatos almost got into the wall. Welker giving him no space there. I think it might be best for Lakatos to let him go, and he does.
Still side by side, barely. Bressi just going to slot himself in front of the 56. And with Welker, he's going to stay ahead of Lakatos. And Chambliss now, he passed Shane Ewing. If you get past Lakatos, he's all good for as far as elimination for now.
Hey, he's probably didn't expect to be in this situation, but definitely helps to at least see the guy you're battling for that final spot up ahead of you. It gives you a little bit more confidence than you had, for sure.
The machine in the background just pounded the wall out of turn 4. It's not been a good day for him with that damaged 34 machine.
He was already losing a front bumper earlier in the race. He found it back. I guess one of the teams gave it back to him, but and we got a wreck. Caution's out, and it's in turn 2, I believe.
Yeah, turn 2.
And it's the 60 of Derek Paulson in the wall.
And Tyler Dulger also, I think, might have called it a day with that. We'll see. Take a look at who is involved.
Oh, yeah. It's mainly only a 2-car wreck there, I believe. Tyler Hensley was the one who helped the 60-year.
Hensley got into Paulson up in the wall, sliding around. Seemed to be the only one involved.
44 definitely came up, but the 60 could have given him more room. I mean, he was pretty low there. 60 kind of took it out on him. Good job by Riley Thompson turning it dead left to get by that. And guess who used the access road to get by it again?
Yeah, Casey Lakatos, yeah. We'll take a look at Riley Thompson's
preferred line.
They're coming out of turn 1. See 44 slide up into him. Wow! And did a really good job making an evasive maneuver to avoid it. And so did everyone else.
Once again, another yellow and another wreck without a chase driver involved, another finals driver involved. Brian Chambliss is begging one of these guys to get involved in it somehow, but maybe he's fine with him not getting involved in it because, like we've said, Lakatos is right.
Yep, indeed. All right, we'll take this chance to go on a break here, just take a breather, and we'll be right back with you when we go back green. we're back after that caution sequence, getting ready for the restart here, coming to lap 35, just shy of halfway. Pacer are going to make another turn off to pit road. Debaro will have control of the field. Actually, sorry, it's Kohan that has control of the field, as he's going to get a restart on the outside. Green flag back in the air.
They decided to take the outside after beating Debaro off the pit road. They'll single file out. Alec Martinez, exactly where he wants to be, right behind these guys, potentially going to try to make a move. And here comes Jeff Ward. He's been P5. We were just talking about he's been P5. Oh, big block by Debaro there. As I was saying, Jeff Ward, he's been P5. Jeff Ward's finally gone up to the ranks of P4. As I say that, he might lose at the 93 and McQuistion here. Here comes Debaro for the lead.
Debaro looking for the lead. Martinez nowhere for him to go. McQuistion to the inside and Jeff Ward in behind.
Oh, that could have been deadly there. Martinez just barely chopped the 93 there.
Yeah, you got to be cutthroat with this. Can't afford to let guys. Can't afford to be nice. We saw Shane Ewing earlier. He was being nice. Dropped a whole lot of spots. Actually, he's back out here in the front again after doing another two-tire call. And I don't know if this is going to play out for him as well as he thinks, but up in the front, Kohan out to the inside of Debaro down into turn 1.
See how hard these two race each other. We could have a 2017 moment again. We almost did there. Kohan really washed up there. Not a good run through turn 1. And he's going to be under attack from Alec coming onto the long straightaway here. Those three have seemingly been separating each other from 4th on back, and it seems like it's going to hold true again as McQuiston and Jeff Ward have single filed out. Single file all the way throughout the top 10, and then we got Shane Ewing battling everyone else behind him.
Shane Ewing fighting with Pastorius right now. Pastorius also in the playoffs, trying to fight for his spot. He's moving his way through. Ewing stuck on the outside. He's got Casey Lakatos in behind.
Yeah, definitely not what Lakatos wants to see, especially with, Brian Chambliss still right there, right behind him. Chambliss has found some sort of speed in the car while staying in the draft. Look at Lakatos. He's like pinching the 76 almost down there, trying to get as much of an advantage as he can.
And indeed, this is really amazing, too.
Oh, this is going to get tight. He's almost about to get walled. Yeah, the 76 and 50, they've been racing each other hard every single time I've been watching them, so I don't know how much Casey wants to risk it with him. He's going to let him go.
And if you look at the ticker, I know that you can't, Connor, but for everyone else watching, looking at the ticker, the entire top 15 all filled with all 12 playoff drivers.
Yeah, Brian's definitely gained a little bit of confidence back. He's almost back up into it. If he gets by Casey, he'll really be in position for a great showing here to get.
Yeah, and he's got Lakatos and Ewing right up the road in front of him. He just has to get to him.
40 almost got turned.
Yeah, indeed. Saw him
Cannon almost got turned
in the background. A little bit of a scramble. There's Vic in the 99 trying to make up after his decision to stay out one caution. He's just trying to work back up through the field. Back up in the front, the top 3 breaking away from everyone else. Not too terribly surprised with this development. These seem to be the 3 fastest guys in the field without really much question of it.
Yeah, look at like the pack separation we have even. The top 3, then we have 4th through 7th in a little pack of their own. Then another 3 led by Fambrough. So that would be the top 10. Then Mitchell Welker's pretty much leading the rest of the pack, trying to leave the rest of the pack as well.
He's actually kind of in no man's land by himself.
I think at the moment it's Lakatos and Chambliss out. Shane Ewing still trying to hold them off, but he's definitely not getting good enough runs to do that. Looks like Chambliss is trying to go with Lakatos a little bit here.
Yeah, and here comes Lakatos with a run to the inside. Does he have a look down into turn 1? This is going to be for the transfer spot here, and also for some points. Potentially, if they can get up inside the top 10. I don't think they can. They're just outside of that range to get some bonus points. Or halfway.
Halfway here. Yep, halfway here, and I don't know exactly how. I don't think it would lock Debaro, Kohan, and all those guys in, but they'll definitely have an even bigger buffer than they already did have. Alec Martinez, as I'm watching them, is all over the back of Kohan as Debaro's trying to check out a little bit. I haven't seen the leader by himself do this. I guess we haven't had enough time to see that, but yeah, they're going to come to halfway here. It's going to be Debaro first, Kohan, then Alec Martinez, McQuistion, Jeff Ward, Johnston, Greg Evans, Fambrough, Thomas Bressi, and Pastorius is going to get the final halfway spot. So that's big for Hayden.
You're 1 lap too soon.
Oh. It might stay the same here, though.
Yeah, no, it's most likely going to stay the same inside the top 10. Debaro with a huge lead, a second lead. He's been pulling at a really good pace He's been running. He ran 0.3 of a second faster than Kohan last time through. Don't know what's gotten to that 27, but it's working out for him.
Decided it's time to go. I think everyone's decided it's time to stop battling. I don't see a single side-by-side battle throughout the whole field here
A
now.
lot of guys really close to each other. I am looking at Greg Evans. He's tucked up right in behind Timothy Johnston and behind Bressi, looking for a pass on Fambrough here. Can't get it done as now we come across the line for halfway. It's going to be Debaro, Kohan, Alec Martinez. Evans McQuistion with a great run. Boyd's going to try to get him at the line. Can't get it done.
Nope. I was right. I had it. I was psychic. There's some side-by-side action for both those spots.
Boyd decided it's enough time being in behind the 93, trying to get up by him, sets his sights on the top 3.
I just noticed the sun kind of went behind a cloud there, so 1 and 2 was pretty much in darkness there, so a lot more grippy there for a little bit.
Yeah,
see how much the track changes and just a little bit of...
Yeah, track time right now is 99 degrees. I checked it early in the race, didn't pull it up earlier, but I did check. It was around 108 and around one practice. So the track's gone down by almost 10 degrees since the race started, especially with this cloud cover starting to cool off a lot more.
Oh, contact 93's into the wall. That was close. That could have been bigger than it was, but that is not good. 93's not happy. Let's see what happens here. He's probably not happy with Jeff Ward.
Oh, they make some contact going to 1 here. He's going to force his way to the inside.
More contact.
Each other off of turn 1.
And hard into the wall goes Jeff Ward, and that's definitely a little bit of payback, Chase Elliott style from the 93 there.
We're going to go take a look back at this. Hopefully nothing else happens while we're taking a look. This all started out of turn 4. And it looks like just Ward got out of the corner, got really tight, got in some slight contact with the 93. They found each other.
Just a racing incident, really. Just ran out of room.
I don't think McQuistion thought so here.
Oh, no,
McQuistion
did not.
Switch back, get into turn 1. And just sends it into the corner, gets into the 89, taps him out of the way.
A lot more right rear damage on the 89 than I thought there would be. It's probably for the better it's not on the right front, so maybe that'll be a saving grace. He's back to P6. Really hasn't lost any positions, but that could change.
Yeah, did lose some time to McQuistion and Timothy Johnston up ahead, and that also broke up the pack that with Fambrough and Bressi falling off a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much nothing's changed for who's in and who's out of the finals. It's still Chambliss and right now it's Chambliss and Lakatos out. Shane Ewing's last one in.
Ewing trying to break away from these guys, but it's Lakatos is trying to break away. As
actually, let's see. No, I think Lakatos is, and
he's in.
I think he is going in. Yeah. I wonder what happened, because it seemed like Lakatos got really separated from them all of a sudden.
Like a lot of battling in the back here, especially for those guys.
I see what happened to 32. I'm looking at it now. He just missed turn 2, and that let Lakatos get away.
So he's going to be trying to chase back down Lakatos. That's his spot there. That's his ticket to the playoffs. None of these drivers got those bonus points at halfway from finishing outside the top 10, or coming across the line in the top 10. So it's going to be purely based off of their finishing order, and I don't even think, too, Lakatos has led a lap. And we've seen him, he's loved to pull that strategy of just leading a lap, getting some points. Didn't do it this time.
He tried.
Cost him, but so far he's safe.
He did try one time. Evan Adams stayed out. And I had a feeling that this restart could be the long run that we really needed to get going here, and it's starting to happen here. I might jinx it, who knows. But
oh, you did jinx it indeed. There's a car spinning off at turn 4. And on the front straightaway, doesn't look like a caution car.
Alright, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna head out. It was Evan Adams, so bad to worse for him. Self-spin really didn't hit anything either. I think he just... he clearly heard.
That is purely commentator's curse, because you literally just mentioned him.
Yeah, he just ran out of room. Almost a good pit entry. No, he missed. He hit the cone, too. That was just bad all around.
Yeah, here he comes out of Ford. Almost does his best J.R. Hildebrand impression.
It's not for the win.
Almost put it down his pit road. I think try to get off there, but caution did come out for his spin.
I bet Hildebrand wishes he was in a cup car when he did that. Poor cone. I feel worse for the cone than I do Evan Adams.
Here's a look on board with the 59.
Just gets a little bit of aero push, trying to get too much out of it.
I think it's kind of missed the apex of the corner too. Just didn't really go in there right. It just got tight.
I'm not saying anything about long runs. I guess I'm done talking about that.
And Evan Adams looks like he's gonna call it a night. Back in 26th position. And actually, it should probably be 27th by the time Derek Castor catches back up to him.
Yeah, top guys definitely didn't want to see this. They were starting to settle in, especially Debaro. He wasn't really checking out, but he definitely had a comfortable lead at a second over Kohan and Martinez. And it was really only those two who were even close to him after the 93 and 89 incident. So they're all bunched up again. And more specifically, as it stands, the 93 and 89 are nose to tail. So we'll see if that holds out of pit road. But this restart might be interesting if they're next to each other. They're definitely not going to give each other room.
Waiting to see guys coming down into pit road. And we're definitely going to, I think that was probably the longest green flag run we've had.
I think green flag stops are out of a question now. It's at least close.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you with that as well. We're under halfway. I think they might be able to stretch it on a tank. We'll have to see here.
Let's see, 92 stayed out. I don't believe he's a lap down. He'll get a lap lead, I think. Let me guess, 4 tires throughout the pack?
I think you're gonna be crazy not to. We've seen time 10 again drivers try it. We saw Shane Ewing try it twice. Didn't really work out for him. We also saw Greg Evans try it. Didn't really work out for him.
It's just not working out in general. I mean, that was like a 10, 15 lap run? No way you see it here. It's really going to be a matter of the top 3, how they get out of pit road. Just seems like that first stall does not fire off like Debaro wants it. Kohan's just easily beating him out of the pits, but he's got to beat him on track because Debaro's gone if he doesn't.
Yep, and we're going to quickly head to commercial for a little bit. Just going to fix something. We'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Just needed to fix a little something, but back here is the field's catching up to Christopher Matthews, who should lead a lap in the 92. Another playoff driver, but just collecting some points out there. Also got the 48 of Derek Castor, 5 laps down with damage to his nose. He was involved in that incident with Liam Sheen. Liam Sheen still running out here, still in the lead lap, despite that damaged car.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Kohan and Debaro here. Kohan keeps beating him out of pit road, like I said before we went to that quick break there. That first stall does not fire off at all. Second, it's almost an advantage to qualify second instead of first at times. Without the possibility of green flag stops now, it's going to be interesting to see how these two race. Kohan might really try to block hard down the backstretch here.
Yep, and as the field's coming through, it's been quite a few yellows in this race, and actually I can pull that up on screen. How many we've had. And 5 cautions tonight, slowed the pace down. We've done 13 laps under caution and only 11 lead changes, which is, I think, a little bit more than we would have thought. I think, but though a lot of them have been from drivers staying out and then getting passed on the restart.
One guy I'm still looking at on these restarts is Alec Martinez. He's got to make something happen. These top 2 just dominating these restarts. And the people who have been taking 2 tires on these have not helped either. But, he's on the bottom here, so if he gets a good run out of 2, we'll see what he can do with these 2. But
I hear
possibility 3 wide.
I hear Tom go right on board with Thomas Bressi, because I hear him shutting off his engine.
It is pretty close. He is definitely shut the engine off. Like I said, it used to be around like 40 laps on fuel, but with this new package, really full throttle around the whole place. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say, and the tapered spacer too makes these things run way more, use way more gas than they need to. Even the fuel mileage on the plate tracks Those guys are running like 32, 34 laps on a full tank. They used to be able to go way past 40.
I'll tell you what, if for anyone who's watching this right now who watched the end of the peak race at Indy, you saw that you did not want to be the leader. Bobby Zelensky was way out ahead of everyone, but because of how much drafting and coasting helps, he ran out of fuel way earlier than everyone else did, and that race ended up being if you weren't leading, you were going to finish. So we're definitely right on the edge. This could happen again, and it's going to be interesting on a restart to see as well. Does Debaro even try to pass Nick Kohan here, or does he just let him run himself out of fuel?
I mean, honestly, that's a pretty good strategy. You know, we could see him do that.
Kohan's shutting it off as well. Everyone's shutting it off. It's definitely going to be close, considering everyone's shutting it off now.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised maybe some guys in the back. I do see quite a few guys that made it onto pit road yet again, although it looks like a lot more so guys in the back. I think that had nothing to lose. The guys in the front trying to get their track position and also save some gas here for this last run. We're going to come green with 31 laps to go.
Yep, looks like Chambliss is at the back of all that. I don't think he topped off, but he'll definitely be at the back of all this. It should be, if I'm right, it's Chambliss and Lakatos still the ones that are out. Hayden Pastorius all of a sudden finds himself right in front of Lakatos. He got, I think, 2 bonus points from the halfway mark, so that'll help him as well. But I think regardless, if Lakatos passes him, it's going to be dire for Pastorius. So a lot to look at here on this restart. Is going to be a key one.
Yeah, this could be one of the situations where you don't really want to be the leader. Because, again, like we were saying, you can't really save a lot of gas. Even in behind someone, you're not saving a whole lot, but you at least get a little bit of time to breathe on the throttle as you get the draft from the guy ahead of you. Being the leader, you're going to be on throttle pretty much the entire run. So we'll see how this plays out here. If there's any shenanigans up in the front with some of the guys maybe not wanting to lead and giving it up constantly. Or if Debaro and Kohan's just going to keep it and stay with it.
With 31 to go, I will say this. I don't think it's going to go green the whole way, but if it does, it's going to be interesting to see what these two teammates do. It'll be interesting to see what Alec does. I mean, he's been third the whole race. You'd figure, I know the racer he is, he might want to lead laps. He might get in there and lead some laps, but I don't think it's the thing to do here. I think one of the two, Debaro or Kohan, they want to run each other out of fuel. Kohan took the top. We're going green.
Going green yet again. Kohan has command of the field, is going to get a nice jump on the rest of the field. Bring McQuistion on through on the outside. The 93 got a fantastic start as we go back green here in Indianapolis. Under halfway left, 31 laps to go. Here comes McQuistion. He could potentially be a threat here on the outside.
Yeah, that's one of the best restarts I've seen up there. He's not going to be able to hold it. Back to side by side with Martinez for third. Debaro on the bumper of Kohan there. It's going to cut off Allen there, but I think it might come very close to clearing Travis. And look at Thomas Bressi. Look at the run he's got. 30 to go. Does he go 3 wide? Yes, he does. Alec's going to block it. Bressi tried to go middle. Gave the bumper to the 54 instead. And we see there, Debaro did not cut inside to take the lead. I think we're already seeing some games going on here. Alec on the apron, on the curb there. He saved it.
Yeah, saved it. That could have been disastrous there. And here comes Jeff Ward. Remember, got into the wall earlier in the run. He's going to have a run back on the outside of Timothy Johnston. Colin Fambrough also just nailed the wall out of turn 4, but still looking at the leaders.
Yeah, Ward does not have a run. No help in the story. Pastorius all over the back of the 28. 28's going to clear. Jeff Ward's not going to let the 19 get by. 19's just trying to run away from Lakatos, basically. He's also trying to run away from Greg Evans, who all of a sudden is not in a good situation either. Right now, he's the last car in right before Lakatos and Chambliss are back out of it. Seeing at Chambliss, he was up there trying to race to get in. Now he's back 21st, really out of it now. I don't know if anything else happened, but things are looking dire here with coming to 29 to go.
It is. Alec Martinez fighting on the outside of the 93 of McQuistion, trying to get a run on the front straightaway. And Thomas Bressi also starting to look more alive here in the later parts of the race. He's in 5th. Trying to get 4th is going to get a really good draft off the 54, but it's going to be stuck in that outside lane.
Actually lifted a little bit there, so he didn't get too far up to the back about 93 up the track. More contact, 93. But, I mean, this one wasn't on purpose, but he can't seem to hold it down there that well. As Bressi's up to P4.
Yep, Bressi up into P4, McQuistion back down to P5. As the front runners start to sort themselves up. Big gaps in between them. Not a whole lot of close action up front. Back in the midfield, though. We're starting to see some action pick up just a little bit. They're looking at the 58 of Riley Thompson. He's got Colin Fambrough and Shane Ewing. Fambrough's fallen quite a bit since the restart.
I didn't notice that, but all of a sudden he's not in a comfortable situation. Really, the only one who I think is basically out without luck is Chambliss, but all of a sudden it's not looking good for Fambrough either.
Yeah, he's right on the cusp. He's just barely in. He's fighting with Shane Ewing for that final spot at the moment.
Yeah, all of a sudden Lakatos has a gap now. He's looking better than he did. It's Shane Ewing and Chambliss out. Fambrough, he has speed. He's just got to use it. He's got to get away from the 30.
Not a whole lot of action up into the front. Still checking back down here. Here's the 0 of Sam Crow making a run on Ewing, and Fambrough up ahead making a run on Riley Thompson. Can't get it done on Thompson. Crow can't get it done on Ewing, and Ewing's really going to have to make something happen here. I think this really is just lacking some pace. There's no damage to the car.
Yeah, he just doesn't have really what it takes right now. He especially can't let that 0 of Crow go. He cannot let any cars get between him and that final spot.
On board with Ewing.
Oh, I think Pastorius just got into a wall. He might have just gotten into a wall. Yeah, he's got right front damage.
Yeah, it does have some right front damage. We'll take a look at it as soon as we
that was a big hit.
Yeah, and here looking now at the 89 of Jeff Ford. He's got to run. Greg Evans going to try to give him a run through. No, he's going to leave him pull in behind Pastorius.
That was a big mistake, bigger than I think everyone else would think from Pastorius. He's going to drop here. There's a lot of damage. You cannot have that type of damage on the right front. The aerodynamics are just too important here. You're not going to get good runs down the straightaway. Now he's passed Greg Evans. He was looking good after starting at the back. Now he's going to start to...
And now he's in danger because now Lakatos is right behind him and not too far. As Fambrough is now making a pass on Mitchell Welker. Or sorry, on making a pass on Riley Thompson.
Oh, we got a wreck. Someone's hard into the wall. Someone's flipping. Who is that? That's 93, I think.
McQuistion.
Oh, and the 99, Derek Paulson. They're wrecking in 2 again. The Vic Bloom, Derek Paulson's in the grass.
Yeah, big wreck here.
Sam Crow.
Sam Crow's come to a stop, trying to find where McQuistion
all of a sudden, McQuiston, all of a sudden, he was just into the inside wall flipping. Seems like out of 1's the big trouble spot. I don't think we've seen a wreck anywhere else other than
turn 1, typically the tighter part of the track just hits the wall hard. Oh, and then absolutely destroys the guardrail on the inside wall. Sliding back onto the track, doesn't seem like anyone else hit him. I think a lot of people...
it was just a stack-up effect. Like, they avoided him around the outside, but Vic Bloom didn't really check up as much as he could have. He got into the back of Sam Crow, got into the outside wall, came down into the 60 of Derek Paulson.
Oh yeah, Bloom just sends it in there and just tags the 0.
Whoa, look at how the 22 got through that. That was close. The 56 as well did a good job getting through that.
On board with Brandon Key in the 22. Made a deep dive below, trying to avoid this incident. Went through the grass, car spinning all around him. And we'll take a final look at Derek Paulson, because even he got an interesting view of this scenario. I think was involved a little bit with
he got a good amount of damage.
Yeah, just got hit by the 99 when sliding through the grass.
It's really the first wreck to happen up front in any sort of way. I believe 93, I believe he was still in the top. If he wasn't in the top 10, he was definitely in the top 5.
He was running in behind Bressi, so he was running, I think, 5th or 6th.
And yeah, he was having a great day. Obviously not a finals driver. Definitely showing some promise, but he goes from a potential top 5 run to out of the race, disconnected.
Yep, well, down on pit road, you know the drill.
4 tires and fuel?
Yeah, I think so. I really don't think you're going to want to try 2 tires. If you do try 2 tires now, I don't think you're going to have enough time to make up if it doesn't work out for you.
Yeah, and their fuel's out the window here. Definitely straightforward to the end here, I'd assume. I think the 54 of Alec might have just overshot his box a little bit. Yeah, he did. He overshot it. He might lose a good amount of spots here.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, here, you can't really afford to make many mistakes. We're approaching 20 laps to go. As drivers begin to pull off, let's see who wins the race off of pit road.
Debaro's gonna get him.
by a long shot.
He's going to be P3. Timothy Johnston all of a sudden has made his way up. Greg Evans 4th. Alex back to 5th. Still on the inside, though. Then Welker, Lakatos in 7th. Bressi back to 8th. Fambrough 9th. Shane Ewing 10th.
And I see some damage to the 28's nose. I'm curious, did he run into someone on pit road entry? Where did he get that from?
Seems like 24 is damaged as well, but I think he got damaged early.
Well, I mean...
I'm seeing it. He hit the 24.
If you want to check for me, if we can confirm that, just see if they got into each other on pit entry.
You see what's happening, the 24 stall is right before the 28s, and the 28 was coming in right behind them. Like, they were nose to tail coming into their stalls, and, you know, sometimes coming into the pit stalls, they go invisible. This time they didn't. The 24 got rear-ended by the 28, basically. I think the 24 got more damage than the 28 did, but definitely an unfortunate situation for those guys. They might have been doing that the whole race.
And here we're looking at, you can see no damage for them at the moment, and the pit stall coming up, pulling off. Oh yeah,
It's kind of unfortunate.
That's big for Timothy Johnston. Not so much for Bressi. Bressi got in the rear. You can get away with that quite a bit. Damage to the nose, however, and you can see it's not insignificant. He really hit that pretty hard.
It's a big one. Definitely got a hole right above where the hood, you know, gets into the front end. Right front's pretty torn up. The whole front bumper's torn up, so it really might. He's P3, which is the best position he's been in, I think, all race. But it's definitely not going to help people behind him. The only people who could really compete on the restarts, even with these top two, are Alec and the 93 of. The 93 of McQuiston, but McQuiston's out of it. Alex back to 5th. We might see a big 3-wide move from Alec here. We'll see. But
yeah, we'll have to see. It's really coming down to it here. And Johnston too. This would suck for him because run to his own at Rockingham, and that took him out for a chance at the championship. This could be it again. I think he's a little bit better in the points. Let's see. He's got a little bit of a buffer. He's 10 points above the cut line going in. So, and actually, yeah, there's a graphic there on the side, looking at who's close, who isn't. And so he's got a little bit of a buffer, however, it's not a whole lot to rely on. It's really going to come down to how this car's going to handle once we get back green.
While we weren't paying attention, something happened to Jeff Ward. All of a sudden, he's at the back of the pack.
Ooh.
He got his damage repaired. I don't think he sped. He was fine coming in, fine coming out. All of a sudden, he's at the back, which would mean he might still be in because of his bonus points, but all of a sudden, I believe he's P12.
Yeah, he's 47 points above the cut line, and he can...
He got all those halfway points as well.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I think
he's got the buffer.
He's got a buffer. I think he should be fine. Should be able to have enough time to make up some spots, to potentially get inside the top 10. But yeah, not too sure what put him back here.
I really don't see anything. I think he repaired the damage. That's all I see. I think he might still be good. Meanwhile, the two that would be out is Chambliss, as it has been most of the race, and also Hayden Pastorius, who's back in 16th. No, well, he's all the way back to 18th, so he's got work to do, big work. He's got a lot of damaged cars he has to pass, so that won't be pleasant. And right now, the final transfer spot battle would be Ewing and Chambliss, and Fambrough's right there as well. Bressi, Lakatos, everyone's there all of a sudden.
Yeah, so this is really shaking up the points picture quite a bit. Just looking at how jumbled of a mess this field is at the moment. Ward all the way in the back, but I think it's still Pastorius, and also I think eventually Chambliss looking out. I don't know. It's gonna be pretty close here, I think, when it comes down to it.
I wonder if Ward was just saying, "Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I finish this race," because he obviously doesn't need the best of finishes with the buffer he has, but if you are going to still want to go for the win, I don't understand fixing the damage, because it didn't seem like it was affecting him that much, and he goes from borderline top 5 all the way back to outside the top 20 on this restart, so yeah, and again, he might be just playing it cool, but if he's going for the win, I don't see the point of doing this.
And the thing is, too, remember, you know, the points don't reset after this round. You continue with the points you have, you're just safe another week, so you're still going to have to get as many points as you can week in, week out to make sure you're not close to that elimination. So you might survive one week, doesn't mean you might survive the next, but...
Maybe he didn't get the medal.
I hope he did, for his sake, but we'll see how he's able to fare if he can work back through this field. Passing's been really tough here, as we coming back to the green here with 21 laps to go. Pace car is going to be off. Fuel shouldn't be a
Debaro
factor.
took the inside. Yeah, fuel should be a no factor. Debaro took the inside as he finally won a race off pit road, and he's going. We're green again. Another great jump for the guys on the second row. Timothy Johnston's going to have a go at Nick Kohan on the bottom here. Nick Kohan might be in no man's land all this.
Yeah, and actually, let's see if Johnston can keep up the pace here. This is going to be really curious to watch the 28. The damage
He's going to clear him.
Going to clear him. How about that?
This might be the first time all race that I've seen Debaro and Kohan separated, and Kohan's going to be caught out again. Here comes a 46 Greg Evans to the bottom for third.
Yeah,
He's trying to go for second.
Evans not afraid to show a nose here, coming down to it. Here comes Martinez also giving a shove to the 46 of Greg Evans. It's a fight up here.
Debaro, there it goes. Yep, Debaro with the block. Nick Kohan all of a sudden has gone all the way back to P5. Not the restart he wanted at all. Meanwhile, Debaro, all of a sudden he doesn't have a teammate behind him, so what's he going to do?
What's he going to do indeed? You see Timothy Johnston trying to clear the 46. Can't get it done. Actually, he does get it done. How about that?
He only got it done because the 46 let him get it done, and that really helped Nick Kohan. That's something he needed, because now he's going to get back to third, most likely.
And Kohan trying to just find a place in line here. Is going to be put to the outside. Martinez trying to dive on in.
He almost made contact with the 21. That would have been bad. And kind of same we've seen. Debaro's going to check out here already as they're side-by-side still for second. Evans and Johnston not giving each other an in.
Actually, there's a lap car on the inside. Greg Evans pulling out to try to get a draft off of Vic Bloom, who's on the inside.
3 wide. This is not going to work.
This is definitely not going to work.
Bad. Oh, 99's in the way. 46 into the 21. Is he going to save it?
No,
he's
hits
not.
Walker.
76. Thomas Bressi's into it. And they're still straight. The Fambrough's into the wall now all of a sudden.
And somehow we remain green. A lot of guys checking up. A lot of guys with damage.
And that really hurt Chambliss. Last thing he needed was to lose position on track.
And he
he's
just
lost a lot of it. They're 3 wide on the yard of brick.
Yeah, 3 wide up in front of them. A lot of names involved here. Ward.
Pastorius is in the middle.
Yep. As he's struggling to get on by. That was interesting complex of corners.
I guess at the least I'll say an interesting decision by the 99 to stay on track in front of the leaders.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people not going to be too happy with his decision there.
I'm sure admins won't be as well. It just ruined a decent race, and that definitely ruined a couple people's chances at making it through, maybe. I mean, that really killed Chambliss's run he had going up there, and Fambrough got into it as well after all that. Mitchell Welker, I think, might have gotten the worst of that. He's destroyed all of a sudden, but all of a sudden, as far as I'm seeing, Colin Fambrough is the first one out all of a sudden.
He's just trying to fight for it right now, and he's trying to build up a run. He's got Chambliss in behind him, and both these guys fighting to stay in, but now they're going to end up fighting with each other. And the next car ahead of them that they're trying to chase down is Hayden Pastorius in 12th.
And while all that happened, Nick Kohan somehow found his way back to second, so no longer teammates separated. Kohan's going to clear, as Debaro's already cleared by over a second, and it's like Martinez is trying to get back to his spot in P3 over Timothy Johnston. He's going to clear him easy.
Yeah, and Johnson gonna slowly drift back, but honestly, I'm pretty surprised that car hasn't been running worse than it is. He's still looking like he's gonna get a solid top 10. Regardless of what happens, that car still has some pace.
That's just unfortunate what happened in 3. There's really nothing anyone could do. You have a lap car who's way slower just coming out of pit road, get in front of you. We know how bad the aero push is. And on top of that, they're closing on him so quickly. There's really nothing they could do. That's unfortunate that 99 did that, but it seems like the people who were initially involved, like Greg Evans, got away with it decent. I really thought Bressi was about to get hooked, but he was somehow able to save it.
He did a fantastic job saving it. He's still running in 5th, regardless of that, so pretty impressive. Yeah. Up in front, Casey Lakatos and Shane Ewing, they're somehow battling for 6th. We saw both these guys outside of the top 10, and here they are in the top 10. That really shook up the field.
I wonder if Ewing knows the point situation by letting him go there. I think he realized what happened to Fambrough. Speaking of Fambrough, he's now gotten passed by Brian Chambliss, so I think he really got the worst out of that.
Yeah, his car is starting to hurt, I think, or something's hurting in him. But yeah, and I think, well, for Ewing, even if Lakatos gets him by, he should be good, as Fambrough and Fambrough and also Chambliss are on the cut line. I should pull it up here on the side.
Pretty much everyone who was neck and neck with each other in the chase on that restart, it's not even close for the final, for the on the cutoff right now. Chambliss has, I think, the first one out in 17th, and the next person he has to get to is Pastorius, who is about 3 seconds up the road, 12th, I think.
Oh, here's a big battle for position. It's involving Riley Thompson, Hayden Pastorius, and Norman Pelletier. Oh, I got really close.
Pastorius is going for it. He's going to put as many cars between him and Chambliss as possible. He's not taking no for an answer.
Yeah, again, at this point, honestly, just go, go, go. Don't look back. Just look in front of you. Try to pass as many cars as possible. Speaking of which, here's Jeff Ward up into 9th. He made a really good recovery. Up into 8th now.
I think he just barely got by all that chaos in turns 3 and 4 there. He's, like I said, he's back up to 9th. So, maybe my words, he's definitely going to still get a good finish out of it. Next car up, Shane.
He's got Ewing and Lakatos up ahead, which I think he should be able to catch them within 15 laps. So looking at potential 6, maybe 5th, he can catch Bressi. I think Bressi's going to be a little harder, as the majority of the top 5 is broken away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, top 5 broken away from the rest of the pack, and top 3 are trying to break away from the other 2. Same as usual, Debaro, Kohan, Martinez, and same as usual once again, Debaro, no pressure whatsoever. Nick Kohan, another little bit under a second back. Just can't do much about the aero push. There's really no other line you can make. He's pretty much just riding it out, hoping Debaro makes a mistake.
Yeah, and again, I think for a lot of these guys, they don't really need extra points. Most of these guys up here are locked in. In fact, the fun thing too is that the entire top 10 is filled with Fuel Finals drivers.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Chambliss and Fambrough, the odd people out now, so they definitely need a lot of luck on their side, but as we've been saying, it's really spread out now, aside from, I think, the battle for 13th or 14th with Brandon Key and Christopher Matthews, so, their chances for Rex are running out, and their finals hopes are running slim.
Yeah, indeed they are. Just kind of looking through the field here, not a whole lot of action going on now. Some drivers trying to build up on runs, but for the most part, I think the field stabilized out to where they would be running. I think Pastorius catching up to Greg Evans, and I think he had a bad end of the deal in that little incident that we saw. Got some damage to his car, not up to pace, but again, should still be safe by quite a bit.
Yeah, like we've been saying, no competition for the top 8, or top 10, excuse me, really. It's top 10 fuel drivers, and then fuel finals drivers, and then just really not much of a competition all of a sudden. Have a good battle for 4th. Brewing. Bressi is caught up to the back of Timothy Johnston as he's trying to build up the run out of 4 here to potentially have a go at him. And up at the front, Nick Cohen's caught Debaro a little bit, but as I say that, he loses 2/10 there, so it's kind of a back and forth sort of affair with those two, as Alec just follows, hoping both of them make a mistake.
On board with Thomas Bressi at the moment, trying to get on by the 28 of Timothy Johnson. Not a whole lot to be gained here, but every little point helps.
He could probably go for him at any moment. He's probably really just choosing to stay behind him, but we see right there he's gonna go for the look. I don't think the 28's really gonna fight him for.
Yeah, Johnson let off quite a bit by the entry of the corner. I think realized this is kind of a losing battle. I might just sit him right him behind the 24, just draft off of him until the end of this race.
And Jeff Ward is really on a tear through the field right now. He's up to P8 now, and he's getting good runs on Shane Ewing, and he really might be in play for 6th, really, because Lakatos is just up the road.
Yeah, they're both caught up to a big bloom. Lap car is going to pull out of the way a little bit.
Well, he's not going to be popular, is he?
Yeah, probably not in some drivers' eyes. Holding up the 32 and the 89. Ward looking like he wants to go up the middle.
He can't do anything about it now. He's going to shove the 99 by him. Old strategy.
Bump draft down the back straightaway.
Let's see if he causes a yellow here. You never know what he might do.
Yeah, you never know.
So, shove the 99 up the track. That's how you do it.
And we'll just drive around.
And he made that from the outside. Easy on Ewing. Meanwhile, Martinez had a go at Nick Kohan there, nothing doing. Kohan gets to run off of 4. Debaro looks in the mirror and he's seeing everything he wants to see. Now a 2.5 lead after that side-by-side bout between Kohan and Martinez, and we're on 10 to...
Yeah, 10 laps to go here, and we saw Martinez get up really close to Kohan, but just had to give up so much time entering the corner here due to the aero wash. I think for Martinez, I don't think he's going to be forcing the issue a whole lot. I think he's going to be happy with third. But
I think everyone's happy with how this race has gone. Well, in
except
a way,
for Fambrough and Chambliss.
I suppose they're fine with where they finished, everyone but those two, but they probably would have rather seen more green flag laps at the beginning.
And had a few shines of green flag runs. It's usually been small cautions, 1 or 2 big wrecks. I'll pull the information up here. 6 cautions slowing us down tonight. 16 laps under caution. Hasn't been a whole lot. Not a whole lot of lead changes. Again, I think that number 15 is a little bit deceptive with a lot of the strategy that's gone on. I think more or less we've seen probably 7 or 8 passes for the lead on track.
Goes Fambrough. Fambrough just got by Chambliss, so he's back up to being the first one eliminated, so maybe that would count for something in his head.
Yeah, I would think if anything, Fambrough can try to rely on some points. I think I'm pretty sure he was inside the top 10 when we got to halfway. Didn't quite keep track of what position he came in, however. He's still really far behind, and the next guy he can try to catch, as far as the final drivers is concerned, is Greg Evans. So, I don't know. I don't think it's enough positions. He's too far back. He's in 16th.
Greg Evans is, I think he's P10, so yeah, I don't think it's going to be nearly enough. I think Fambrough still has to get, like, to a position behind and have any chance of beating him on points.
Actually, here comes Fambrough. Speaking of passing, making up some positions, going to go to the inside of Riley Thompson in turn 1. This is for 15th.
I'm not giving him much room. I don't think Fambrough is going to appreciate that, but there's not really much Thompson cares about when it comes to fighting for position, just fighting for the better spot.
Thompson's running his own race.
Oh, slow car down the back.
Oh, it's Lakatos!
Lakatos!
Oh, no.
This changes everything.
This does change everything. If he can get back up to speed, but that car looks torn up.
Back up to speed. Wilco's going to get by him. He's going to get back up to speed, but it's right in front of Fambrough and Chambliss, and all of a sudden those two have new life.
Indeed they do. They thought they were out of it, but now both of them are going to be fighting for the spot.
Chambliss got into a wall.
Oh, boy.
What in the world happened here? All of a sudden I see a slow car down the backstretch, and it's Lakatos.
We're going to keep on this for now, because Lakatos is dangerously off the pace. The guys behind him catching him really quickly.
He had no aero push, Lakatos did, really. He just got too much out of turn 2 and hit the outside wall, and then he hit the inside wall. And here comes Fambrough.
Here comes Fambrough to the inside. This is for the transfer spot here.
I tell you what, Brian Chambliss really wishes Fambrough didn't get by now, because all of a sudden, it's going to be down to those two.
Yeah, well, they're going to be fighting. Yeah, they're going to be fighting for that final spot instead of just amongst each other. So this is going to bring new life to them as Lakatos drifts on back, and we'll try to quickly find out what happened to Lakatos.
I was able to see it. There was really no one ahead of him to give him any aero push. He was trying to get too much out of it when he didn't need to. And he just walled it, brought it down to the inside wall, almost stopped on the backstretch.
Here's a look at it. Coming out of turn 2. Just got on the gas too early, hit the outside wall, went spinning off to the inside, pounded that wall, inside barrier hard. And
yeah,
lost
the hit on the
so
inside
many
wall. The hit on the inside wall definitely hurt more than the one on the outside. And he's gonna be absolutely livid with himself.
He's gonna be hoping for a caution to come out. That's his only saving grace. Meanwhile, still looking at that fight for the transfer spot. Fambrough just trying to break away from Chambliss, gonna try to put a car between him as he looks to the inside of Riley Thompson. Thompson gives him the spot.
Yeah, we'll see how they also gave Chambliss a spot, so he's not gonna even try to get in between. I think he definitely knows the point situation by letting those two go race out for themselves. Big stack up out of 4.
Oh, there was some more stuff I think that happened. I see Greg Evans in the middle.
Yeah, I think Vic Bloom held up more people all of a sudden. Greg Evans has not gotten by Vic Bloom for a number of laps now.
I think he has some more damage to the right side of this car. Here comes Fambrough.
Now all of a sudden Greg Evans is in a bad spot.
Yeah, he is. I believe, again, he has some bonus points. We're going to have to wait until after the race to give some confirmation once the points are doled out. But, man, this is really turned on its head here as far as guys getting eliminated. We know Lakatos is going to definitely be out of it the way they're running right now. And Greg Evans now just stuck trying to hold off him, at least trying to hold off the 5 of Fambrough.
Oh! Norm, the 56 just gave Fambrough a shot going into 3. He didn't give Fambrough anything to work with. He's going to let Chambliss go. Vic Bloom is definitely going to be public enemy number 1 in the garage area after this race. He hasn't let anyone go. He especially didn't let Greg Evans go. Greg Evans just now got by him. It's almost too late because now Fambrough and Chambliss are kind of back in the mix here with 4 to go.
If Fambrough gets on by, it's going to be an interesting development to see where they all end up in the points as they run. Greg Evans is good and Fambrough is good. Not sure about Chambliss, though, if he gets on by the 5. It's going to be really close, but I think for all Fambrough's worried about is just finishing in front of that 45. Not a whole lot of battles in the rest of the field. This is really where the action is.
There's definitely no way Fambrough's thinking about the bonus points he got earlier. He's only thinking about finishing ahead of that 45 at all costs. After that skirmish out of 4, the incident with Lakatos, single fouled out yet again, and Vic Bloom's out of the way.
They finally got Vic Bloom out of the way. Chambliss can now just set his sights on the 5 of Fambrough up ahead. And he's been out and in and out and into the points all night long. It's been a lot of drama for the 45. Had a lot of pace earlier on, too. I mean, if we look where he started in 5th. He could have had a much more dominant day. Unfortunately, drifted back after getting some damage. But finally has a shot, has a shining light at getting in, and it's right ahead of him.
Yeah, as it stands right now, the 2 people who are going to be out at the moment, it's defined by mistakes. I mean, wasn't really pinned on Chambliss when that incident happened, but he got put in a bad situation, couldn't do anything about it, and the big loser here is going to be Lakatos. It's not the mistake I see him make a lot, if any, if ever, really. So that's going to be one that plays in his mind for a while. It's coming to 2 to go here. Time's running out for Chambliss. Just can't get to the back of the 5.
Pull away for just a moment to check up on our leaders. It's Anthony Debaro up in front. No surprises here. It's been really the story of the season. Has 3 wins to his name. He's actually tied with Jeff Ward in the wins column. And we'll break this tie here if he can get back to the white flag. It's Nick Kohan a second behind. Then a second behind him is Alec Martinez, and a large gap back to Bressi and Johnston. And then Jeff Ward, who's too far to catch really anyone else. But here we go. White flag in the air for Anthony Debaro. It's been almost, I wouldn't say necessarily domination. Hasn't really had a long green flag run to dominate, but definitely flexing his muscles on this run, going out to a second lead.
Yeah, not only Debaro flexing his muscles, but also Nick Kohan. Those 2 really put on a show today. They were basically 1-2 the whole race. No one could touch them. Alec tried. I think he got up to second.
Oh, Alec in the wall.
Oh.
Looks like he's good, though, but hit the wall, I think, pushing a little bit too hard, trying to get something out of this car.
Yeah, just, it is what it is. It's not going to hurt him now, at least. It's the only good thing about doing it on the last lap. But, yeah, Debaro, Kohan, definitely flexing their muscles.
Yep.
And
now to turn 4. Coming back to the start-finish line, Anthony Debaro is going to collect his 4th win of the season. Checkered flag for Anthony Debaro as he comes across the line. It'll be Kohan in 2nd place, Alec Martinez in 3rd, Bressi in 4th, Timothy Johnson in 5th. And looking on back, we'll come up to that fight with Colin Fambrough. And Brian Chambliss is not going to be enough for Brian Chambliss as they run. It should be Chambliss out and Lakatos out, and Fambrough again, through the skin of his teeth, is going to make it into the next round.
That is... I'm sure Fambrough thought he was absolutely cooked, but he got that stroke of luck we were talking about, and he's on through, I believe. I just couldn't feel worse for Lakatos.
Honestly, had that wrapped up, pretty much said and done until he hit the wall. And unfortunately, it should be him that'll be walking away. Again, we'll get double confirmation before we sign off for the broadcast to ensure. But I think I can say with a reasonable amount of certainty that it would be Lakatos and Chambliss out of it. But Anthony Debaro, your race winner here.
Again, really good drive up through the field by Jeff Ward, all the way back to basically where he was running all race in P6.
Yep. I don't think he's going to be too disappointed with that after restarting at around 20th, so made through a lot of traffic.
top 3, basically what we expected. Bressi, after running kind of borderline top 10 most of the first half, he got up to 4th. Johnston held on for 5th. Damage didn't affect him. He was able to hold on for a really nice finish. And Ewing, after his troubles early, 7th. Pastorius, 8th. Christopher Matthews, a great run for him, 29th to 9th. And John Wilco in the 62 started P32. That might have been dead last on the field, just about. Definitely back there. He got himself a top 10.
Debaro lining it up on the bricks. Indy fans are not going to be happy with him.
I believe by what the admins are talking about, someone's donating to charity.
Oh. Is that actually, or?
I think I saw them retweet a tweet that said if you do a burnout on the bricks, I think Jared Dixon's going to donate $250 to charity.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, he's doing a lot of burnouts on the bricks, so Jared Dixon's going to have to do some donations.
500.
All right.
That's a burnout.
Yep, definitely. All right, and as Debaro continues to celebrate, we're going to cut to commercial, pull in some drivers for some interviews, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we're back here with Alec Martinez. Alec, you finished in third. You look like you could have potentially got the win there, but I think I know what's going to be your response as to why you couldn't get the win. If you want to continue on where I'm from,
Dirtier.
yeah, yeah. No, it's been definitely saw that it was pretty tough there. Do you think with some longer green flag runs, if and some green flag pit stops, you think you could have beat the 21, the 27 on some strategy?
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Classic Alec.
Yeah, not much to work on, but yeah, no. There's a good finish for you. I think really going into the next few rounds, your competition is gonna be the 27 and the 21 for this championship. How are you feeling about battling against them for the next few rounds?
Having 750 horsepower at Mount Hess.
All right, well, thank you, Cal Bush, for your interview, and
problem.
good luck, Alec, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
I think by fuel standards, they should give him an L2 for that.
We'll see if he does get anything after the fact. But next, we're gonna talk to Nick Kohan. And Nick, you had a really solid run up there with your teammate in the 27. It was pretty much between you two all day. You two were constantly restarting in the lead, and it kept shifting back and forth. One thing I gotta ask is, I've seen you guys race each other all year long. You're teammates, but you guys still race each other pretty aggressively, don't you?
Yeah, we do. This is a game, and we are here to have fun. And it's kind of hard to have fun with this package in the first place. So we try and make the best of it. And we've been racing around each other for 4 or 5 years, something like that. So we're very comfortable racing around each other. So it makes it fun. I tell everybody on Dizzy that I want you to race each other like teammates, but I want you to have fun. I want you to race each other. I don't want you to just roll over all the time. And there's times and situations to work as a team, and there's times to be selfish and go for every point you can, because that's what this is all about. This is ultimately it's a goal to get the team a win, but you also want to win yourself. Every race car driver is selfish in that way, and it just comes down to being really comfortable around each other. We're really pushing the issue every time, and we try to work together on the restarts. But after that, it's gloves off.
Yeah, it kind of leads me into my next question too. As both of you are heading further into the fuel finals, you're appearing as both of you are appearing as the favorites going into the next few rounds. How is that gonna, balance out your relationship with each other as teammates? Is it gonna get more and more cutthroat as you get closer to the end?
Well, he's hit me a couple times this year, so I might have to repay the favor later on. But no, I just hope it comes down to the final race that hopefully it's all four Dizzy Motorsports drivers in there. But if it's me and Debaro battling it out at the end, we're gonna race each other clean, but we're gonna race each other as hard as we possibly can, because that's what we're here to do. And that's what's fun when you're racing around people that you enjoy racing around, and especially when they're your teammates too. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully I don't even know where we are next week or the final race, but hopefully it's a lot more racier than what we had tonight, because this was absolutely terrible.
All right. Well, even though it was terrible, he still finished in second, and actually started in second. So good job for you, Nick, tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Finney, and just shout out to CG Automotive, my dad for watching, all you guys at SimTV, Mission 22, and Fuel for putting this all together.
Yep, no problem. All right, and last but certainly not least, for the fourth time this season, at least talking to him as the winner, we're talking to Anthony Debaro, and I feel like we're gonna probably get sick of talking to you at some point. You've been having an absolutely phenomenal season so far, with 4 wins to your name now. You think you're gonna be able to carry this momentum and get even more wins as we go further into the finals?
I don't know. We'll just take it really one race at a time, and it was awesome to score maximum points, pole, leading halfway, leading most laps, and winning the race. I mean, you couldn't really ask for a better opening to the playoffs here. We'll take it to Charlotte and see if we can do the same thing. If not, we'll bring home a top 10 or a top 5 and advance to next week.
Yeah, and I was kind of asking Kohan the same questions. Both of your teammates have been giving each other quite a bit of respect for the most part. You're hitting each other here and there, but definitely been having fun doing so. How much of a threat do you view him? Going to the rest of the finals. Do you view anyone else as a a bigger threat than Kohan, or is he your main focus for the championship?
Just focusing on what I can control, and that's what I do in the car and what I can do going forward. I mean, you really can't control other drivers. There's going to be guys that are going to challenge us. That's for sure. There's a lot of good racers out there in the series, and we'll just control. Like I said, we can control what we can control, and hopefully we win out. And it's that easy, but I know it ain't going to be. But so we'll see what we can do.
All right, that's Anthony Debaro, your race winner. Anthony, thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
Thank you. Good job in the booth, guys.
All right, so with that, that's gonna wrap up the interviews for tonight. We'll pull up the results here. Take a look at that. So yeah, that was quite interesting there at the end. We thought it was gonna be pretty much textbook, but we had a few incidents involving a lap car. And, we were talking about it. I don't think he's going to be quite the biggest fan for a lot of drivers. That threw a lot of things into whack. And it's going to end up with Lakatos and Chambliss that will be the ones that will be eliminated from the Fuel Finals this week. Connor, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts on that? The interview might have been the best part by Alec. I'm just kidding, but for real, I mean, it's kind of what we expected going into a track position is key, and that played serve for the whole 80 laps. I mean, Nick Kohan and Anthony Debaro, they were untouchable at the top two. They only got separated maybe 2 times, but otherwise they led the majority of the laps, and one of them came out on top. They went 1-2. Alec third. Top 3 pretty much stayed the same the whole race, and the race for the final spots in the finals was defined by who doesn't make the mistake, and the people who are out were the ones that made the mistakes, and it's unfortunate for that to happen to Casey. He's a guy who rarely makes mistakes like that. I'm sure he's still going to be upset about it, but he'll be able to move on. I know he holds himself to a good standard, and he's a good driver, but that will sting for him for a while. It was unfortunate what happened to Brian. It was a really big mistake by him. He was just wrong place, wrong time early in a race. And for everyone else who's into the next round, it can't really let up. It's not like the normal playoffs. You got to race hard every single one of these last 4 races after this one. So it's going to be definitely interesting to watch.
Yep, indeed it is. All right. Well, if you've been watching, thanks for watching this race, and we'll be here next week in the Fuel Cup Series. At least I'll be broadcasting it, leading when we go to Charlotte. But coming up tomorrow night is Wednesday. We got the WDC Washington Region SCCA. They'll be racing with MX-5s and TCR cars at Mosport. So that's going to be a fun race to watch. But if you've been watching, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.